welcome to lesson 59, factorizing using the greatest common factor. Now we're getting into some polynomials, and we're going to directly connect to that last lesson on finding the GCF. So in this lesson, the very first criteria for success is to be able to identify the greatest common factor, and you can use mental math or listing out your factors by hand, whichever is most accurate. And you're going to apply the greatest common factor to divide each term in the polynomial. And given there will be some variables of exponents, we will be using that quotient rule in this exercise. We're going to express the factored polynomial with the greatest common factor outside the parentheses, so we're going to rewrite it, and the remaining factors inside instead of parentheses. And then we're going to, another thing we're going to look for is that we accurately divide the coefficients, and again use that quotient of powers property rule when we're factorizing. And finally, attending to accuracy and just making sure we check our answers using the distributive property. Alright, so here's my first model example. I need to factor the polynomial, and I'm looking at the three terms: 12x to the fourth, 6x to the third, and 3x squared. And I need to find the greatest common factor. And using mental math, I'm not going to go through the entire steps. If you need to, go back to the last lesson. The greatest common factor for the numbers would be 3, and for the variables would be x squared. So that's my greatest common factor. So I'm going to rewrite my polynomial, and I'm going to divide each term by 3x squared. Okay, so again, the numbers are pretty easy. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and using my quotient rule, x to the fourth divided by x squared is just x squared. I'm just subtracting my exponents. Negative 6 divided by 3 is 2, and x to the third divided by x squared is x, and 3x squared divided by 3x squared is just 1. So it's completely factorized, so I put this in parentheses, and I put my greatest common factor here on the outside. So that is my final answer. My polynomial is factorized. To check my work, I would just distribute. So I would just write the same thing, and I would just multiply. So I should get the same answer, 12x to the fourth minus 6x cubed plus 3x squared. It matches my original answer, so I am done with this question. Hit pause and jot this down into your notes. Alright, let's try one more. Factorize this one on your own and then hit pause. Okay, we'll start with the first part. I'm going to start revealing first with the greatest common factor. You should have divided by 4x squared. That's your greatest common factor. Okay, so let's use that in order to factorize. So again, notice how I'm showing all of my work on the page. Yours should also demonstrate all the work. And I'm going to start writing my parentheses here on the side. And I know this is going to be our greatest common factor on the outside. So inside you should have 4x squared times 4x squared plus 2x minus 1. And there is your final answer. And again, as always, if you had checked your work with distribution, you would see that you would have your original answer. So again, here this would have given us the 16x x to the fourth, 8x to the third, here we go, and negative 4x squared. Alright, so get some more practice in. Again, look to see that we're not making small mistakes with any negative numbers, and that you are fully writing your answer with the greatest common factor on the outside. That's it for today's lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Be well.